Hello and welcome. Today we're going to make a little strawberry for our cat friends in honor of summertime and berry season. I will have a written pattern for this coming out soon. It will be part of a little collection. So this is just a little sneak peek for you guys. The things we'll need to make our little strawberry are going to be our 4mm or G crochet hook. We'll need some scissors. Whatever scissors you have are fine. We'll need some yarn needles and worsted weight yarn and a color for the body of your strawberry, a color for the stem of your strawberry, and a color for the little seeds of your strawberry. They don't have to be traditional strawberry colors. They could be whatever, and if you want to leave the seeds off, you absolutely could if you wanted to. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we're starting with the body of the strawberry. We're going to take our yarn and we will cross it over, long end over the short end. Taking our hook through the front, we're going to pull up 2 little loops, and that's just going to create our little magic circle. Into our magic circle, we'll just create 6 single crochets. So we're going in, whoop, wrapping our yarn, pull it up, wrap, pull through those 2. As we go, we want to make sure that we're catching the tail with that loop of our regular yarn. That way when we get to the end and we pull on that tail to close up the circle, everything will come together nice and smooth. So we get a couple more here. Now we have all 6. So we're going to take that short tail, give it a pull, and it will close up that circle. We're going to go into the very first stitch that we made, making sure that we're getting the front and back loop of that stitch. And then wrapping our yarn, and we're going to join the first and the last there. So next round is going to be a little increase round. We'll chain 1. And then we're ready for round 2. For round 2, we've got a little bit of an increase. First one, we're going right back into that very first stitch. Just a single crochet. Same on the next. A plain single crochet. And on our 3rd stitch here, we're going to increase. So we're going into that stitch, making a single crochet. And then the thing that's going to be different here is we're going into that same spot. So that stitch gets 2. And we're going to do that one more time. A single, single, and 2 single crochets in that last one. That's going to bring us up to 8 single crochet for this round. We'll slip stitch to join back into the very first stitch of that round. Once we have that done, we are going to flip this over. Taking that tail, we're going to grab our yarn needle, thread it on there. Okay, we've got our tail threaded through our yarn needle. We're going to go ahead and grab any little piece of a stitch from that first round, going through there, and we're just going to make a simple knot. Making that as snug as possible without kind of ripping any of the yarn there. That's just going to keep that secured from the other side. Now we've got a plain single crochet round for round 3. So all that's going to be is we'll chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. So by the end of this round, we should have 8 single crochet. And we'll keep going, and then when we get to round 4, we get a little increase coming. So keep going, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, next round is a little bit of an increase again. We're going to go into the first stitch, and then we are going to increase on the next one, so that stitch gets 2 single crochets. Again, we're going into that same spot. We're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. 1, and then 2. When we get to the end of this round, where we'll have 12 stitches across the top, And then for round 5, we're actually going to repeat the same pattern again. So you'll have another increase round. It'll go 1 and then 2 in the next. And at the end of that round, we'll have 18. So go ahead and finish this one, finish the next one, and I'll meet you back here for round 6. Okay, we have finished up to round 5 here. We slip stitch, we have chained 1. We're ready for round 6, 7, and 8. All 3 of these rounds are just plain single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So at the end of each round, you should end up with 18 stitches. At the end of those 18 stitches, we slip stitch to join the rounds. We chain 1. And when we finish round 8, we're going to meet back here, and we've got 1 decrease round after that, and then we will add stuffing catnip, which I forgot to mention at the beginning. You'll need something to put inside of your strawberry. It doesn't have to be catnip, it doesn't have to be like polyfill stuffing. It could be crinkle paper, it could be scraps of old fabric, it could be scraps of old yarn, whatever works for you. Whatever you have handy is probably okay. As long as it doesn't come out of the strawberry, you're good. Anyway, so we'll keep going. We'll finish round 6. We'll finish 7 and 8. And then we'll meet back for round 9. Okay, we're ready for round 9. This is going to be a decrease round. So we're going to have a single crochet in our first stitch, just plain old single crochet there. And then we're going to have a decrease stitch coming up. I'll show you the one that I like to use, but if there's some other way you like to decrease, that's fine. So we're going through the front loops only of the next 2 stitches. Wrap the yarn, pull it through, wrap, pull through both of those. So again, we're just going a single crochet and then 2 together for the next one. And we're repeating this all the way around. 1 and then a decrease on our next stitch, working 2 together. When you get to the end, you'll be back down to just 12 stitches across the top. We will join, we'll chain 1, and then we're just going to kind of make that chain 1 a little bit loose so it doesn't fall off as we work toward our next steps. So keep going, and I'll meet you here at the end of round 9. Okay, round 9 is done. I'm starting to see that little curve in on our strawberry. I have slip stitch, I've chained 1. I'm just going to pull that one little chain a little bit wide so I don't lose that stitch, and put my hook off to the side. And the tail on the inside, I'm just going to bring it in and tuck it all the way down to the bottom so it's not in my way as I'm working. And I've taken a piece of our black yarn about as long as my arm and threaded it onto my little yarn needle here. So I'm gonna work from the inside to start, and then I personally think that the little seeds look best going vertically, but if you want them to go in any other direction or lots of other directions, that's okay too. Whatever you think works or whatever you think looks best is totally fine with me, or you could leave the seeds off completely if you want to. Maybe you wish real strawberries didn't have any seeds and you're just gonna not put them on your fake strawberry. That's okay too. So I'm just kind of double knotting that off so that first seed is safe and secure, and then that tail is going to stay just out of our way on the inside there. So now that that's attached, we can go ahead and embroider those all the way around. I try to do like 3 per section, and what a section is totally arbitrary. It's just kind of, if I'm looking straight at it, can I see those 3? That's what I consider a section, but it doesn't really mean anything at all. So just working your way around. You're gonna have as many seeds or as few seeds as you want, and then I try not to make them longer than 1 row too. I feel like that makes them look the most authentic. But it is a toy, so it really doesn't need to look authentic. It could look like whatever you want it to be. It could be brown and maybe it looks like a potato, and that's what you like, and that's okay too. And we'll keep going. When you feel like you have enough strawberries, or strawberry seeds rather, we're just going to tie off that ending bit of yarn somewhere on the inside of your strawberry so it's hidden away. And then I will meet you back for stuffing and closing up this part of the toy. Okay, our seeds are on. Made sure that the stitch stayed kind of on the outside as I tucked all the black tail pieces in. I'm gonna add some catnip to my toy. I like to add the catnip first. That way it doesn't try to escape and the stuffing sort of keeps it all in there at the bottom. When you have however much you'd like, I'd recommend at least like half a teaspoon's worth so your cat gets excited about the toy. I mean, you could give them as much or as little as you feel like. So taking my stuffing, I'm going to shove that in there next, and I'm going to add as much as I need to get the strawberry to kind of hold its shape and not be too squishy, but not so much that my stitches start to open up and you don't want to be able to see the stuffing from the outside, because that means that your cats might be able to pull it out and we don't want them eating all that. So just as much as it takes to find that little middle ground. Once we have all that stuffing in there, we're going to reclaim our hook. We've got one last decrease around here. We're going to weave this top closed, and then we're on to our stem and little leafy parts. So we're almost there. Go ahead and grab your hook and we'll close her up. We've put our hook back in. I just kind of tightened that chain back up, and we're going to go one and then a decrease, just like we did before. So it's the same pattern. This is going to take us down to few enough stitches that we can weave it closed, pull it closed without there being any sort of weird puckering or what have you. So taking these fuzzies out of my way here, I'm just continuing on one single crochet. Try not to grab any of the stuffing as you go. We don't want it worked into our stitches. We want to avoid it as much as we can. There we go. Not impossible to avoid, but definitely a little bit of, so just those two front loops, a little bit of a challenge some days. We'll keep going all the way until the end. When you get to the end, we're going to slip stitch. We're not going to chain one this time. We'll meet there. Okay, we slip stitched the beginning and the end of the round together. We're going to take like a medium length piece of that red. We're going to cut the rest of it off because we only need this little bit left. And we are going to tie off that last stitch. So we'll just wrap our yarn over the hook, pull it through, give that a little tug, and then that tail is going to get threaded onto our yarn needle. We're going to take that yarn needle with the tail and just weave it through the rest of those open stitches. So just going in one, out the next, all the way around. And when you get back to the beginning, we'll pull on that tail and you can see it'll close the top of that toy right off. And then just where our slip stitches were, it's usually a nice little piece you can grab there so we can tie it off. We'll pull that knot as tight as we can get it, and then anywhere, whichever direction you feel like that knot lays the flattest, we're going to push that needle through, pull it all the way out, and just like all of our other tails, just going to hover inside. So we're going to snip off whatever's left and give it a little massage, make sure that the end ends up inside, and now we're ready for our stem. So we're going to go ahead and grab our green yarn. So our very first round for our stem is going to be just like the beginning of our strawberry. We're going to make a little magic circle. So just as if you're about to make a slip knot, and then we just go through the front to the back to pull up 2 loops. And we're going to single crochet 6 stitches into that magic circle. Trying to keep them all kind of facing the same direction, making sure they don't twist around as you go. Working through the front of the circle toward the back, and when we get to that 6th stitch, we are going to pull on the short end of the yarn and that brings it all together. So from here we're just going to slip stitch into that very first stitch to join the first and the last, making that circle complete, and we'll chain 1. So the next one is going to also just be 6 single crochet. So we're just doing 1 stitch in each around, but we're going to be working in the back loop only. So that little V at the top there, that little V shape right there, we're going through just the back. So the one that's farther away from you, all the way around. That's just going to make our yarn turn so that the top of the stem is flat, and then it turns so that it starts to work its way down, like almost like a little cup. Once you are at the end of this, you have your 6 stitches. We're not going to slip stitch yet. We are going to take our yarn needle and thread through. So I'm just flipping it inside out. I'm going to take my yarn needle and thread through this beginning little short tail there. And just like we did for the strawberry, we're going to tie it somewhere on the inside so that our kitties can't pull out that beginning bit. So just anywhere is fine. I like to wait until the second round. That way it doesn't sort of misshape that beginning circle. So now we can flip it right side out. And you can see that shape starting to come together. Works its way down nice and flat on the top, and we're going to slip stitch the beginning to the end. Getting both of those little loops this time. Just pulling through and pulling through the next one. We're going to chain 1, and this is going to be just a plain old single crochet in each stitch around. We'll slip stitch at the end, we'll chain 1, and then things get a little bit more exciting from there. Continue on, meet you there. Okay, round 4 of our little stem here. We've joined, we've chained 1. Now we're going to be working sort of down the leaves. So that stem is ready. We're going to single crochet 2 in each stitch around. So every stitch gets an increased stitch. That's going to take us from 6 stitches all the way to 12 stitches by the end of the round. When you get to the end, we're going to slip stitch and we're going to join, and I'll meet you back here for the next one. Okay, our next increase round, round 5 here for our little stem and leaves. We're going to single crochet 1 in the first stitch and 2 into the next stitch. So we've got that single crochet with the first stitch and single crochet 2 in the next. We're repeating that pattern all the way until the end of the round. That's going to leave us with 18 stitches at the end. So just a single and then 2 single crochets in the next. So we'll see you at the end, and then we get to start the points of our leaves. Okay, we're ready for the points of our little leaves here. So we want 3 chains here after that slip stitch. In our second chain from our hook, we're going to go in and we're going to just do 1 single crochet. And then in the next one, we want to try to make sure that that's facing the same direction the whole time. We're going to do a half double crochet. So we're going to wrap our yarn. We're going to go into that next chain down from where we were and wrap, pull up, and now we'll have 3 loops on our hook instead of 2. And we're going to wrap and pull through all 3 of those. And then in the next 3 stitches, we're going to slip stitch. So we're just going in and pulling through to join the leaf. And 1 more. And on this last one, we're going to do that again. So we're going to chain 3. And in our second chain from our hook, we got 1 single crochet. And in the next, we've got that half double crochet. So we're going to wrap, going in to that last chain, pull it up, wrap and pull through all 3. And again, we're going to slip stitch the next 3 stitches. And one more. And we're going to keep doing that. At the end, you should have 6 total of these little points. So you chain 3, a single crochet, and half double crochet, followed by 3 slip stitches all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, that last slip stitch of our round here takes us back into the beginning of the round. So we are joined up already. You can cut your green yarn, leaving a long tail. We're going to wrap, pull through, and just give that a little tug to tie it off. The inside tail, all we're going to do with it is cut it short enough that it's not going to peek out from underneath our leaves. And then you can take that long tail and we're going to thread it through our yarn needle. Once you have that done, we are ready to attach this to the body of our strawberry. So go ahead and grab your strawberry. Okay, we've got the strawberry. I'm just going to kind of see where the very top is there and try to line it up like you're putting on a little hat. And then from there, I will try to line up that slip stitch join for both sides so we know we're not too far over in any direction. And then we're taking that yarn needle. We're going to go into the strawberry, out through the leaves. And then as we work around, I like to try to make sure that I'm not crossing this over more than one row at a time, so it's not super obvious that it's there. But I'll go down to about the widest part of the strawberry, or just before the widest, depending on how I'm feeling. And then grabbing the tip of our leaf, we're going to pull that down so that it hides where the yarn came through the strawberry. And then again, trying not to go more than one row up, going back through. And I keep doing this all the way around. So I'm kind of going down through the strawberry, back out, and then grabbing the point of our leaf so that it kind of comes down and stretches out a little bit and covers wherever you came through. And then again, coming up just one round or one stitch or whatever you want to, however you want to think about it, and back up through. And I'm going to keep doing this until I have all the points down, and then I'm going to do one more round of stitching just to secure it. So keep going, I'll meet you there. Okay, all of our little triangle pieces, our little leaf pieces are attached. And then just to make sure that this is as secure as possible, I'll usually just go right across the, in between those two first increase rounds. I'll go in, again, try not to go more than one stitch on the outside so you can't see that it's been sewn on. And then going again, just one stitch over, making sure that I'm getting that strawberry. You can tell kind of if it's too easy, you probably haven't gotten deep enough through the toy. And I'm going pretty far over after each stitch because it's not super necessary. I just like to be as safe as possible. So then when you get back around to where that little line is, you can tie that little tail through wherever. I just try to only grab one little piece of a stitch so that that knot is able to just sort of blend right in. And just like we did at the top of our strawberry, anywhere where that knot lays the flattest, we will send our yarn needle in and working our way through the stuffing and bringing it back out through the toy. We'll pull it just a little so it's got a little bit of tension there and cut off the extra as close to the toy as you can get without snipping any of those stitches. Just give it a little massage, make sure all those little tails are in there. And that's it. Our little strawberry is done and ready for our cat friends. I hope you had fun. If you do end up making one of these for your cats, would love to see them playing with them. If you want to tag me on Instagram, it's the same as here. It's just Denise Fox Crafts. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Please kiss your kitties for me. Love you guys. Bye.